Hello everyone, thanks for tuning back into my channel. This is Alex of Astrology, and this is my video for the new moon solar eclipse in Aries coming in on April 8th, 2024, which is a Monday on Pacific Standard Time, but you'll want to adjust for your current location on the planet as that time and date may change for you. I am currently in Bali, so if you hear some little jungle creatures in the background, or if this room is a little more echoey than usual, that's why. I have not done a recording in here yet, so I'm not quite sure what you can hear and what you can't hear, but I'll do my best in the editing process to make it nice and cohesive, or as good as I can. All right, how we feeling, guys? I can't believe we're here. I can't believe we are in the month of April. I think April is potentially the craziest month of 2024. There might be one other month that is in competition for that slot, but I definitely think that it goes without saying that April absolutely is the month that may bring in the most change, especially sort of like surprise change. But it also has this, like, I want to use the word like revamp energy. Lots of Aries energy, but there's lots of Uranian energy as well, which we're going to talk more about. And to top it all off, we have a Mercury retrograde, just to make things a little bit more confusing and a little bit more dramatic towards the end of the month. So let's get into this and explore all these different energies that are going on. So first things first, I want to make the point, because I think that this is really important, and it's one of the reasons that I'm getting this video out a little early, is that this whole week coming in for you, I'm filming this now on Bali time on April 2nd, which would be April 1st Pacific Standard Time. This whole week, first of all, we're in between eclipses. So we're in eclipse season. And I would say that this whole week leading up to the 8th, we're going to be feeling this eclipse build slowly. There's this kind of nice fade in with any new moon or full moon, but particularly an eclipse, because we're sort of sandwiched in between two eclipses right now. We are definitely sort of in between worlds. We're also feeling the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction coming in. It's a lot, and it can feel a little weird. Eclipse season can feel weird. It can feel strange. A lot of people experience disruptions in their sleep, or their dream space can get super interesting. And let's, for a moment, just understand logistically why that is. And that's because eclipses, which come in little clusters or pairs, are lunar events that happen at the moon's nodes. In this case, for our new moon solar eclipse, we're looking at a new moon at the north node, which is quite significant, and we'll talk about that. But these are lunar events at literal gateways to other dimensions. The nodes are literally like the most woo-woo part of astrology, because they are not planets. These are gateways. They are magnetic in nature, and they go into past lives, other timelines. The south node goes digging into our past life karma, and then the north node goes into the future, into future timelines and our incoming destiny. So to have lunar events close to these nodes, and the closer the event is to the node, obviously the stronger we're going to feel it. Sometimes we have partial eclipses. This is actually a total eclipse. Look how close. The sun and the moon will be at 19, very close to that north node. So this is a tight orb, and so we will feel this one more than the last one. So this is a north node eclipse. So right away, we know that we are being challenged to embrace something new. South node eclipses are more about release. North node eclipses are more about embracing something new, stepping forward into a new level of evolutionary growth, stepping into experiences that represent where you're trying to go, not where you've been. Of course, there is an element of release that goes along with that. Always, that's kind of the nature of polarity, but our attention and priority here is towards the future. This is a very future oriented eclipse, and it's in fiery Aries. Aries is about initiative, it's about trailblazing, it's about bravery, independence, taking a stand, having the courage to blaze that trail. Think of that ram energy, the symbol for Aries. Rams, they burst through barriers using their horns. It's that very abrupt, vital, courageous energy. So we're being asked to step courageously to a whole new level. And I say a whole new level because the North Node always represents something new. Remember, the North Node is unfamiliar. The soul has never done this before. The North Node represents something that is foreign, and for that reason, it can feel edgy, it can feel scary, it can feel uncomfortable. And then let's pull in the other aspect to this eclipse that makes it very interesting, which is that Chiron is really close by. So there's this healing, shamanic element to this. This tells us that there's something that wants to be healed in a new way, whether that's by approaching something differently or understanding it in a new, more evolved, more mature way on a soul level, because the North Node represents that the soul has matured. It must mature in order to greet this new evolutionary stage. So this eclipse to me has healing potential all over it, but it requires us to step into a new level of emotional, spiritual understanding, to meet yourself and to meet others in a new place. But to be honest, this is mostly about you. This is mostly about the individual, because this is about Aries. So the primary focus here is the big question at the moment, which is, where the hell am I going? What the hell am I doing? If I had to pick like 2 sentences, that would be it. Where the hell am I going, and what the hell am I doing? Who am I could be another one. And I say this, and there's a big question mark around the energy of the eclipse, because Mercury is retrograde. And Mercury plays a huge role in these energies, not just because he's close to Chiron, but because when Mercury entered pre-shadow a few weeks ago, we discussed that in my last video, he was at 15 degrees the day he stepped in, right at the North Node. He's now, during this eclipse, he'll be at 24. As of today, he went retrograde today as I'm filming this on April 1st Pacific Standard Time. He's at 27. By the time the eclipse comes in on the 8th, he's here at 24. But let me tell you, throughout the month of April, he's going to go all the way back to the North Node. And on April 25th, write that date down, he will go direct again at the North Node. That means that April 25th is going to be like a slingshot. All of the information that you gather through questioning and searching and wondering throughout all of April, all of that is going to move forward at the North Node. And that's when you're going to say, I'm going here. I'm doing this. I am this. But until then, we're in a little bit of the mystery. So this is kind of weird because we have a new moon, which is about new beginnings, but we're very much in the mystery. And a lot of people are probably having big questions about their destiny right now, because the North Node in Aries is all about that. The North Node in Aries is about, what is it that you need to fulfill your goals? What are your desires? Who are you? Where are you going? So April is, that's why I said revamp at the beginning, because it's like we're being given an opportunity to revamp in some ways our whole freaking life. If you're like me, I'm born in 86. This is happening on my nodes, North Node Aries. Jesus. We're being given an opportunity, though, all of us to revamp because the nodes of the moon are powerful for all of us. I mean, this is, like I said before, this is the direction of our destiny. So revamp. You don't need to have the freaking answers right now, okay? Period. Let me say this. If you think you have the answers right now, just wait, because the shit's probably gonna fall apart, because Uranus and Jupiter are going to come and make their conjunction middle of this month, and you're going to have a ton of realizations and a ton of things fly around, and then you're going to change your mind anyway. So it's like, let Mercury do his little thing and make big decisions about direction in life when Mercury goes direct April 25th, and then lets the chips fall where they need to fall throughout the post shadow that runs into mid-May, around approximately, I think it's May 13th, something like that. Post shadow ends. So anyways, but the new moon eclipse is guaranteed to bring in some energies that represent where your soul is being called to go. And on that note, I think we should go to the tarot. The tarot card for this eclipse, which is in the second decan of Aries, is the Three of Wands. And the image of the Three of Wands, you know, this person, they've left the safety, the confines of the castle. They're outside on the edge of the kingdom. They've got their wands, their walking sticks. They're looking out into the expanse of the horizon. And they're looking into the distance. So this is a card that represents leaving behind a sense of safety to expand outside of our comfort zone. So there is a sense of adventure. There is a sense of being on some kind of like a mission or a quest. There can be a sense of travel or learning that goes along with this card. But this is definitely a card that has this essence of potential. You can feel, looking at this guy here standing looking out, it's like he's just taking it in, dreaming into the possibility of what may lie ahead, and his back is turned to us, and that to me symbolizes like what's behind him, what is known. He has very clearly turned his back on, and now he's moving forward. So that very much encompasses the energy of this eclipse. When we look at this North Node over here, same thing, same story. The past is back here. Goodbye, South Node Libra. And it goes without saying that relationships are going to be a theme for a lot of people this new moon solar eclipse. And I got to say, man, I know I say it over and over, but with this eclipse particularly, we are being drawn away from relationships that are not in alignment with where our soul is supposed to go, because look at all of this up here. It's very clear that Aries is going to win right now. Look at, even Venus has joined the party as of the 8th. So Aries, 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 it's very self-focused, it's very self-prioritizing. Any relationship that is stepping on boundaries or asking you to sacrifice parts of yourself that your soul doesn't want to sacrifice, that is going to be illuminated like crazy right now. And with all this Aries energy, we have to be very clear with ourselves and others of what we allow, what we don't allow, what we want, what we don't want. Because if we don't, our soul is going to be screaming like something is not in alignment right now. Something is not in alignment. Hello. And it's going to be really, really uncomfortable. And that's when it can come out in like resentment and rage for Aries, when they are just like, this isn't me. This isn't what I want to be. This isn't what I want to do. I've got to get on track. I call it a soul death when the soul is not answering that personal call. Like, you can survive, you'll still be living life, you know, in that marriage or that job or that town or whatever it is that you are clinging to stay safe in a previous state. But on a soul level, soul starts to die, starts to lose its zest for life, health issues start coming up, anxiety starts coming up, all sorts of weird stuff starts coming up because the body and the soul is screaming for your attention, right? This is going to be one of those times for a lot of people with all that Aries at the North Node that the soul is like, it wants to break out of the cage. It wants to fly over that horizon. It wants to go after what it wants. And it's okay if the soul doesn't know exactly what that is, because once again, we're in Mercury retrograde, so we got to let it kind of flesh out. But there will be things around this new moon solar eclipse that are going to help guide you. It's very clear. So I would pick what you're doing on the solar eclipse intentionally. And I'm not, let me make this clear. I'm not saying this to like make anyone fearful of eclipse energies. I do like find eclipse energies to be a little strange. And I don't do anything reckless during eclipses, and I don't really go outside and stand under them by any means. But as far as like working with the energies, I say this about any new moon. A new moon is a new cycle. You don't like think about the message you're sending to the universe and what you decide to do that day. Like, if you're trying to clean up your diet, eat really well that day. Send the universe a message. I want to start doing this. This is the pulse of energy I'm sending into this new cycle. Think about it that way with your habits, your surroundings, your environment. Work with that new cycle to tell the universe exactly what it is you're calling it. Okay, and then let's just briefly talk about Jupiter, Uranus. Again, we talked about this last video, but let's talk about it again. Here it is, man. I'll switch it. We'll go into today. So, all right. Oh, it's actually the second for you guys now. It's 1 in the morning over there. My bad. Oh, yeah, and then we got to talk about Saturn, Mars. Okay, so anyways, as I film this right now, Jupiter and Uranus are 3 degrees away. I can't believe that. It makes me emotional. I've been really looking forward to this, and I almost don't want it to happen because once it happens, it's over. You know that when you look forward to things like that, that's how I feel about this. So they are coming together. They go to 18. What day does that happen? Oh my gosh, just a couple days. Oh, okay, April 4th. Then 19, when does that happen? Right after the eclipse on the 9th. And then 20, when does 20 happen? Oof, the 13th. And then boom, April 18th, all the way to the 25th. April 18th to the 25th, Uranus and Jupiter are together. So this is going to bring in massive realizations and change for a lot of people. The thing that I want everyone to go home with about this is that you are about to be opened to realization. It's that simple. We don't need to fear this. I mean, for sure, I'm not going to lie to you. This is definitely going to bring in some chaos for certain people. They're going to realize things that are not so easy to realize, that do shift their timeline. It's inevitable that that will happen to certain individuals if this is making a really big stress aspect to their chart. But there's also just as much potential for this to bring in beautiful realizations that your soul needs to know what it's going to do next. I almost feel like none of us can freaking do anything with our lives this year, really, until we have this happen, because this can shift so much. You know, like this is going to give us new eyes. How beautiful is that? And so let your eyes be opened this month. Allow yourself to be shown something you don't see. Embrace wonder and awe and innovation, and let the powers that be sort of take your hands and release them from trying to control everything, and just let this bring in something new for you. And then, when Mercury goes direct on April 25th, you will have gotten some, like, the memos here a bit more, and you will be making decisions around April 25th about your way forward. And this is going to be about you and what's best for you, because it's at the North Node in Aries. But you gotta see what this brings in. And then I just want to briefly mention something I did not mention about the eclipse, which I should have. And that is that all this Aries energy somewhat perfectly all filters into this right here, because Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars is almost exactly conjunct Saturn. So this is very clear, and I love this. I love how clear it is. I love how cohesive this all is. It just really nails home a strong point, which is nice because the energies are so confusing otherwise, is wherever Saturn is in your chart is where you're supposed to be focused right now. This is where you're supposed to be putting in work, where you're supposed to be mastering something. And Mars is here stimulating that area connected to all this Aries. So this is like, I'm sorry, but where does Spirit want you? Where are you supposed to be working? What is your legacy? What is your mission? I'm sorry, but like relationships, friends, all this stuff back here, there's not time for that shit right now. You gotta be going after it. Trust me, when Jupiter gets in a Gemini and makes trines to Pluto, and Jupiter conjuncts Venus in Gemini end of May, beginning of June, there's gonna be time for friends. There's gonna be time for like more social stuff. Not right now. This is freaking go time. It's about you and what you need to be doing to really show up for yourself more than anything else in who you are and your full embodiment. All right. Well, I'm excited for this one. I hope you are as well. I hope everyone has a beautiful eclipse. I'm so excited. I guess next time we talk to each other will be exciting as well, because we'll be in that Jupiter-Uranus energy. If you guys are interested in reaching out for a reading, I do have slots available right now. I think I even have like 1 or 2 left for right around the conjunction. Don't quote me on that. I might though. Reach out to me at my website, coyotestarastrology.com. And if you go under my bookings, that'll connect you to my email and we can set it up there. And if you do not already follow me, I'm over on Instagram at Earth2Coyote. I do live streams and lots of stuff in my stories over there as well. All right, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a like and share. I really appreciate it. All right, everyone, bye for now.